Dino Books presents Messi, Ultimate Football Heroes. Written by Matt and Tom Oldfield and read by Joe Jameson. Chapter 1. Treble Time. "Hey, how's it going?" Lionel said, giving his fellow Argentinian Carlos Tevez a big hug as they waited in the tunnel. Lionel was about to play in the 2014-2015 Champions League final, but he wasn't nervous at all. It was the third time he had played in the final with Barcelona, and he had won both times before. He was a born winner, and he was the best player in the world. So he felt very confident as he walked out onto the pitch at the Olympiastadion in Berlin to face Italian giants Juventus. Lionel looked up into the stands and saw the huge wall of red and blue, or azulgrana as they called it in Spanish, the colours representing Barcelona, one of the world's biggest clubs, and Lionel's home since the age of 13. He had played in some amazing Barcelona teams, but this was perhaps the best team of all. They had already won the Spanish League and the Spanish Cup. Now could they win the Champions League to make it an incredible treble? "Yes, we can!" they cheered together. Lionel's old friends, Gerard Piqué and Javier Mascherano, were the rocks in defence. Andres Iniesta and Xavi controlled the midfield, while MSN scored the goals up front. That's what the media were calling the world's best ever strike force. Lionel Messi, the Uruguayan Luis Suarez, and the Brazilian Neymar. Together they had scored 120 goals already, with one big game left to play. "Come on!" Lionel shouted as they waited for kickoff. When he was younger, he was too shy to speak to his teammates, but he was 27 now and one of their leaders. Within 4 minutes, Neymar passed to Andres, who passed to Ivan Rakitic, who scored. Barcelona were 1-0 up. They made everything look so easy with their quick passing football, and Lionel hadn't even been involved, but he knew how important teamwork was. "Great work," he shouted to Ivan. Even he couldn't do everything on his own. Playing just behind Neymar and Luis, Lionel kept searching for the space to work his magic. He was known as the Flea, buzzing around everywhere and terrorising his opponents. With his close control, quick feet and footballing brain, he only ever needed 1 second, especially in his favourite spot. Just outside the penalty area on the right side, he could dribble with his amazing left foot. Lionel loved scoring goals, but he loved creating goals too. There was nothing he couldn't do. Barcelona were playing well, but in the second half, Juventus equalised. Just when his team needed him most, Lionel came alive. He passed to Neymar, who flicked it back to Lionel, who passed to Luis, who passed back to Lionel. His shot went wide, but MSN were looking dangerous. "If we keep this up, we'll score again," Lionel told the others. Minutes later, he dribbled forward again. The defender tried to tackle him, but Lionel was too quick and too skillful. When he grabbed his shirt, Lionel shrugged him off. He wasn't the biggest footballer, but he had worked hard to build up his strength. As Lionel flew towards goal, Neymar made a run to make space for him. On the edge of the penalty area, Lionel decided to shoot. The ball flew straight at the goalkeeper, but it swerved and dipped, and he couldn't hold on to it. Luis sprinted towards the ball and smashed it into the net. 2-1. As Luis jumped the advertising board, Lionel and Neymar were right behind him. It was yet another MSN goal, and Barcelona were one step closer to another Champions League trophy. "There's plenty of time to score another," Neymar said, with a big smile on his face. Their favourite form of defence was attack. In injury time, a clearance fell to Lionel. He looked up and saw his Brazilian teammates sprinting forward. Stretching out his leg, he played a perfect through ball. Neymar and Luis had a 2-on-1 against the Juventus centre-back. Neymar passed to Luis, and as the defender moved across, Luis passed it back to Neymar. His shot rocketed into the bottom corner. 3-1. Barcelona were the champions of Europe. At the final whistle, Lionel hugged Andres and Xavi. Together they had conquered the football world.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?